AskReddit by Love 200. What was abundant and is scarce now? A few hopeful ones. Lead-based house paint. Ozone holes. DDT. All of which are now rarer thanks to successful global regulatory action, journalistic attention, and the resulting realignment of corporate incentives. Asbestos to add to those. As a kid, I had all the time in the world. At 62, not so much. Man, remember how long summer break was as a kid? Insects swarming around streetlights. I'm talking clouds of insects, not 5 or 6. I haven't seen that in 30 years or more. I reckon they migrated close to me, so there are 1,000 of them. Fireflies. Saw them all the time when I was a kid. Now I think I've seen 2 in the last 25 years. Do your part. Don't use pesticides in your backyard. I haven't used any since I moved into my new place 3 years ago. Year 1, no fireflies. This summer, I had lovely shows every night over the summer of blinking glow bug buddies. Snow during winter. When I was a kid there would be snow for months. Now there is barely snow for a week, if we are lucky. I'm 26 and it's unbelievable to me how much this has changed in my lifetime alone. I miss snow. Butterflies. I have never heard a good reason why. Midwest. The hedgerows don't exist anymore. Farmers have plowed the hedgerows down and that habitat is all gone. They have better soil conservation techniques than in the past and the hedgerows are not as necessary. This means no more milkweed and other stuff that butterflies need. But it also means no mosquitoes and other weevily stuff. Unfortunately, there is no easy solution. Boredom. Time to daydream. It used to be an accepted part of life to sometimes have nothing to do. I'm gonna sound like a boomer, but I feel kinda sad seeing kids with all these devices nowadays. It doesn't feel like they get to properly fantasize anymore. Gold. It used to be found in huge nuggets, now in North America like an ounce or so for every ton of material run through the sluice box is considered okay. An ounce per ton is high grade shit. Lots of places in the G-ton. Reasonable prices in America. Houses, cars, groceries, gasoline, normal life. If you start from scratch with no money and no special education, your average Joe likely won't ever own a home. It's possible, but life has so many obstacles. You know how many old folk retire in an apartment. Sad shit, man, and it's gonna get worse. It will never go back to how it was. Birds. I used to wake up every morning to the sound of birds, and that would continue throughout the entire day. Now I barely hear a chirp in the morning. I agree that there are less birds, but I also hung a feeder last year to see what I could attract. Took them about a week to find the feeder, and now they basically drain it once a day and I'm in the center of an industrial city. There's definitely more hidden birds around. Sriracha. Where the fuck did that shit go? Can still buy it at the supermarket. But it sucks now. Doesn't even seem that spicy. When Europeans first arrived in the Americas, Pilgrim era, lobsters were so common they were considered to be like beach rats. You could walk down the beach and just pick them up out of the water. Prisoners would be fed lobsters because they were so plentiful and undesirable. It was considered torture to be fed lobster. Just a note, the lobsters fed to prisoners were just ground up, shell, guts, and all. And oftentimes were rotting by the time the prison got them. So they were disgusting. Interest on my bank account. I used to have 5% in the 80s. Yeah, but mortgages were 16%. Fireflies. They were everywhere. Empathy. I ought to club you and eat your bones. Patience. Critical thinking skills. Good parents. Not too sure about the last two. But think internet culture social media has led to a rapid decline in patience and attention span. Attention. No one can pay attention anymore. Yeah, that's sorry, what? Buffalo. The white man thinned the herd to kill off the natives. Also birdsong in the morning. Used to be too loud to hear oneself think in most locations. Hope. Print newspapers at corner stores. Insects. You know, when I was a young toddler, and you drove for a trip, you'd have to wipe off the front of your car and clean your windshields because of all the bug guts. Now, not so much, almost non-existent. Lice. Growing up, my parents' car used to be black with squashed insects after a long drive. Haven't seen that in years now. Helium. Common decency. I was going to say common courtesy. Common decency is a good one. And below, common sense. Any more commons? Anything to do with the ocean. Ironically, the ocean itself is getting more. Chestnut trees were once common on the east coast of the US and Canada. A blight, largely eliminated. https://yahoo.be/lo3ro6ykizc?siuzol_qve8wtbl4 closed bracket most of them in the early 20th century.